So I built this entire ground-mounted solar system for less than £300 because I wanted to answer a few really simple questions. Firstly, how easy is it to do? Is it safe? And will it actually pay itself off in a reasonable period of time? So let's start with a really quick systems overview. We have two 440 watt panels. These are on small ground mounts. They're sitting here on the patio. They could easily go on the grass, and they can also be pinned down should you require that. Behind is the microinverter. This is a Hoy-Miles 800 watt microinverter, and it has inputs for two panels. Then we have a cable which runs across and into my external socket, supplying energy into the house. So that's it, a really simple system that took me no more than an hour to build. And if you don't believe me, here's a quick build montage from yesterday that shows how easy it was to get the mounts on the panels and get the whole system set up. So that's the beauty of plug-in solar. It really is two panels just connected to the microinverter, which can easily be mounted underneath the panels there, and a single cable that goes across here and plugs into the wall. Let me address the number one question that comes up in the comments about plug-in solar. Is it safe? What happens if I pull this plug out and I touch the pins? Will I get an electric shock? Well, let's try it. So what I have here is a voltage test pen. Now I know all the electricians are going to jump into the thing and say, that's not an adequate test. But all I want to show here is the system live? So I'm going to take my voltage test pen, I'm just going to place it on the cable, and you should be able to hear the beeping to tell me that this cable is live. And again, if I go over this plug, it will beep. That's telling me that the whole system is live. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it next to the plug. I'm going to pull the plug out, and this stops beeping immediately. And I can easily touch the pins, no problem whatsoever, even though the panels are in bright sunlight. And again, as soon as I plug it back in, it's immediately live again. And that's because the inverter has something called anti-islanding technology. What it's doing is sensing the 50 hertz signal from the grid coming in through my consumer unit to this socket. And as soon as that 50 hertz link is broken, the inverter shuts down instantaneously. So you can't get an electric shock. You pull those out, those pins are not live anymore. Even though the panels are still generating, the inverter has cut off the supply to that cable. Okay, let's talk about the inverter itself. This is obviously a weatherproof unit, very well made, German engineering. It is a Hoy-Miles HMS 800W2T. Now, I should say, when you're looking at Hoy-Miles microinverters, some of them are designed with you need something called a DPU. A data processing unit. This particular model has Wi-Fi, so you don't need a DPU. You can just connect the app directly to this and get all of the information on your phone. This particular unit has two inputs for two sets of panels or two strings. There are still limits to the voltage and current that each of these inputs can take. Roughly one 450 watt panel per input. Antenna for Wi-Fi, and then connection to go off to your plug-in system. Now, one thing I should just point out, if you're thinking about buying one of these, you will not get this extension cable with it and this plug. You will need to buy this separately. But I'll put links to all of the bits and pieces here in the description below through my Amazon affiliate links. So let's talk costs. Everything for this system I bought on Amazon with the exception of the panels, because I found a really good way to get panels cheaply. Now, Normally, if you were to go to one of the big online retailers for 440 watt panels, you'd be paying somewhere around about £110 per panel. I was able to get these two 440 watt panels for £60 each. Now, the way I did that was, whilst wandering around the local area, I saw a number of houses having solar installed. So I went and talked to the people who were doing the installation and said, hey, do you have any extra panels? They told me they always carry spare panels, mainly because panels might get damaged in transit. There's a possibility they might drop one. They always want to have a couple of extras on the van. Now, at the end of the project, they could take those back to the warehouse and find another use for them. Or they can find people like me who are just looking for a couple of panels, and I paid £60 each for these two panels. Now, the rest of the system, the mounts that these are sitting on came as a pack of two. They are not the greatest quality in the world, but they're certainly sufficient for this project. They were £50 for two. The inverter itself was just over £100 and about £10 extra for the connector and a little bit of cabling to get it to the plug socket. And that's it. That's the entire system, and it came in at about £296. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to pop up on the screen from the app yesterday when the panels weren't shaded, so you can actually see what this generates when it's in full sun. And again, you can see we're getting sort of 300 to 400 watts per panel, and it's just pushing all of that straight into the house, ready for use. Now, obviously, with a microinverter like this, there's no battery storage, so it's use it or lose it. If you don't use it, it will go exported out to the grid. And obviously with a system like this, you're probably not going to have an export agreement, therefore you're not going to get paid for that energy. So this is a great time, if you've got panels like this, to turn things on, turn your dishwasher on, and use up all of that excess power. So what does a system like this take to pay itself back? Well, as I say, we spent £297 on all the components here. None of this is sponsored. I purchased everything off of Amazon. If you are looking for anything but the panels, I will put affiliate links in the description below. But a really simple system to set up and install. And based on what we were generating, I think this will probably pay for itself in about 2 years. So if you average it out across a year, you're probably generating somewhere between saving about £1 to about 40p a day. So if we take the worst case figures and said we were saving 40p a day, then 2 years and you would have paid for it. And from then on, it's just going to continue to return money to your bank account every single month. So that's it. A really simple, really easy to build, easy to install plug-in solar system for less than £300. Now, I have to move this because this is on the patio where our patio furniture normally lives, and I'm already getting evils from the Chief Financial Officer about what on earth are you doing building more solar systems in our garden? So with that, I'm going to sign off. It just remains for me to say thank you for clicking on this video. I hope you found this useful. And if I'm lucky, I'll see you back here real soon for another video. Take care. Bye-bye.